Today is finally the day we are going to be preparing the DME or the ECU on the M2 here to be able to send out to Femto. It's in Finland, so it's kind of a process that we have to go through. But first, before we jump into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what our other options are if you're looking to potentially add power to your M2 or really any other G8X platform car. So the G80 M3 here, or even a G87 M4. You have a couple of different options. Like, you don't have to go the Femto route. You can do a couple of other different things. You can go like the piggyback route, where we're talking like JB4 or Daler, but even then, that's not giving you complete control over like certain functions on the car, whether it's boost, timing, fuel, all that stuff, like you would typically get when you unlock the ECU and you're able to put a custom tune on it. Like I said, that's the route we're going to be going. Full transparency, what it cost me to not only have the ECU unlocked, but also with purchasing the boot mode or BM3 licensing. That cost about $2,200, and that just also includes an off-the-shelf tune from boot mode. If you've been watching or paying attention to the stuff that I'm posting on Instagram, and if you're not, I'll leave a link to my Instagram down below in the description of this video, so that way you can stay up to date with like day-to-day stuff that's actually happening on the car, because it's kind of hard to make full-fledged long-form content on certain things as it pertains to what we're doing on these cars, right? We're also going to be running the boot mode flex fuel kit on this car in particular. Once we have that, we're gonna be doing some custom tuning and stuff like that. So lots and lots of cool stuff planned for this car. But let's go ahead and jump into preparing the DME or the ECU to be shipped out to Femto. One of the first things that you're gonna wanna do is make sure that two things, right? So first, on your app or your BMW app, and within the car, you want to make sure that the car does not have the option to run an automatic update or push an automatic software update, because once you have the DME unlocked and you install it back in the car, if for whatever reason BMW pushes an automatic update, and what that does is resets your DME, so then you'd have to go through the trouble and pain and money of getting the DME unlocked again, right? So the first thing that you're going to want to do is come in here. You're going to go into system settings. You're going to go in, so this is in system settings. You're just going to scroll down to data privacy, and then you're going to come over here. Let me see, data privacy, individual selection, and you're going to scroll all the way down. There's a bunch of stuff in here, but you're going to scroll all the way down to remote software update or upgrade, and you're going to make sure that that is not checked. It'll come factory checked, so you just want to make sure that you do that as well. And then also within the My BMW app, you're going to want to do the same thing. So you're just going to want to pull up your My BMW app here, like you see on the screen. Then you're going to go ahead and scroll all the way down to this info section. You're going to click on the blue button named settings. And then once you get into this menu under remote software upgrade, you're just going to want to make sure that the download automatically feature is turned off, and you should be good to go from there. All right, so we have the software updates turned off. The next thing that you're going to want to get, well, you can go a couple different routes, right? If you're choosing to tune your car by unlocking and then going the tuning or custom tuning route, you can go with MHD or BM3. Those are the two main popular ones. I'm choosing to go with boot mode because they offer a ton of different things. You can do rolling anti-lag, a bunch of different stuff, right? So the first thing that you're going to want to get from boot mode, and I'll leave this link down below in the description, is their OBD Wi-Fi adapter, because before you pull the DME out of the car, you have to go ahead and register it with the app, so that way you can enable custom ROMs, right? So those custom tunes that we're after, you need to do that before. So let's go ahead and jump in the car, plug this OBD reader in, connect to the phone, and then register the car to my boot mode license. The next thing that we have to do is go ahead and disconnect the negative battery terminal over here. So it's just a 10 mil real quick. Pop that off, and I'll pop this little microfiber towel underneath it so it doesn't make connection with the battery, because it's just gonna sit here for like the next 2 weeks, right? I'm gonna leave the battery disconnected, and yeah, so let's get into that. Next, we have to get this strut bar off because the DME is actually under this little cover here. So we'll get the strut bar off. We'll be able to then pull out this little plastic cover, and the DME sits right underneath there. All right, so that strut bar is off. We got the DME cover taken off as well, just that little plastic cover. Now you can see all these clips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the side as well. So those all have to come out, and then we'll be able to pull the DME out. But one important tip, grab yourself some tape if you're doing this on your own, because every time you pull one of these things out, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw a piece of tape around them, get a Sharpie, write like 1 on this one, 2 on this one, 3, and so on. So that way, when the DME gets back, it's gonna be super easy to then say, okay, this one is number 1, this one's number 2. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right, so there we have the DME. If you look in here, these two clips, the one right there and the one right back there, those are the things that are holding that in this little plastic container, right? So what I did is I just took a flathead on the inside of this and I just pushed this back. It's pretty malleable plastic. I just pushed that back a little bit to free it up and was able to pull it out relatively easy. Now, let's get into, I guess, kind of preparing the shipment to send out to Femto. So we have the DME pulled out of the car here, and I just want to talk about a couple of like precautionary measures that I'm personally taking. These are not all things that you have to do if you choose to go this route and send your DME out on your own. There's a couple of different other options too. Like you can go through, I think the company's called Euro Performance Center, where they actually hand deliver them directly to Finland. For me, I feel comfortable doing it this way. So I'm going with the same company called Parts Score that has done like a lot of the suspension work on my cars here in the garage. Currently, what they're doing is they're just sending me the packing slip. I'm gonna take that packing slip as well as the DME down to DHL and we're gonna set it out. But there, like I said, there's a couple of things that I'm gonna do for kind of my mental health just to make sure that the DME gets to where it needs to go. And if there's any delays, I can know where it's at in that progress. So a couple things, I'm just gonna put a piece of tape on here. I'm gonna write my VIN number on the actual DME itself. Also, I'm just gonna take a little screwdriver and etch in my initials here at the top. So that way I know that the DME that I get back should have those initials on it and it should be the same exact DME because you're not shipping it out and getting a different one. You're shipping this to Femto. They're plugging it into like their bench, and then they're just unlocking it, right? The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach an Apple AirTag to it. So like I said, for my assurity and being able to track what stage it is in the progress of everything, right? Because we're sending through DHL, it has to clear customs and all these things, there's probably a couple things that can go wrong. So just for my security, my mental health, I'm gonna attach one of these Apple AirTags to it and be able to track it right from my phone, which is kind of cool. I can share updates on social media and stuff like that too. So that's another perk of it. That is going to wrap up our video for today. Very well much should be that the next video that I post after this video should be us reinstalling the DME back into the M2 and then throwing the OTS tune or the off-the-shelf tune on it. Since I'm here in Arizona, we only have 91 octane. So for the time being, until we install this guy, which is the BM3 Flex Fuel Kit, but until we install that, I'm probably just gonna be running the off-the-shelf 91 tune from boot mode, but that should still give us considerable power gains. And then once we go ahead and add the downpipes on the car, we'll be able to run the stage 2 OTS tune. And then finally, we're gonna go with a custom tune once we have the ability to run flex fuel, right? So thank you all so much for tuning in to another video, and we will catch you on the next one. yeah.